to me it was a huge surprise. I mean, I've been on the journey with Essento already for quite some years. I'm always open to connect with people, but something that was really interesting about the Your 2040 community, everybody comes with an open mind. I've not met anybody that has a clear mindset what they want to get out, but they're open and are open to share their expertise, to share the facilities they have. And this is exactly what happened with this project as well.
And one of the nice things about this is nothing is forced.
My name is Christian Bärtsch. I'm the founder and CEO of Essento. We're making tasty food products from insects, and by doing that, we're trying to connect the food and the side stream system.
My name is Lukas Scherrer. I'm an industrial designer. I have my own company called Shibuleru, and I work together with FluidSolids on the cutlery that we're going to talk in a minute. The cutlery was, in that form, the first idea because it made sense. We talked about food, and we did have the cutlery already designed, and it is made with nutshells and it's ready to order. So this process is ready. So the product exists as that. When we came together in one of the brainstorm sessions, it was important to that group particular to have something tangible, something that we can illustrate all the concepts, the big ideas of what was talked about over the past days, to have an object or a business case or something that we can really show and say, this is what we are all about.
And that we can start to have impact. I mean, to really be part of the change that we would like to see.
Yeah. There is an interesting match between some of the, not only the people, but also the individual companies that each one of these individuals had. So with Essento, it was, we make this product, but we do have a certain side stream that could be used. With FluidSolids, with Bärtsch and myself, we were like, oh, we make this cutlery and we make it anyways, but to use the raw material, we could actually use one of your side streams. And that's the interesting part of the material. It's made from side streams or waste streams from other industries. And then there was Kitro, a startup who does food waste monitoring, basically. And they say, well, we're on the source of food waste. So now we have food waste, we have insects, and we have a waste stream there that we can use. So all of a sudden, that whole idea of circular just started to click together.
Yeah, and it's basically we have all the pieces that are coming together to make not only one product, but a whole system of products that are already on the market, are to be on the market. And what we essentially do is we connect those systems to make them stronger.
Yeah. Each one of these is at a point where they work independently, and I think that's important. So the companies and the products, they work independently, but together they become even stronger, and they can illustrate these circular cases, which are still hard to have a business case around, and here there is a case around.
Yeah, I mean, it's often hard to understand. How does it work? Who works with whom? And what we were able to do here is basically, I think we have a proof of concept. So we were able to take the side streams, we were able to have a functioning proof of concept to showcase it's feasible. Yeah, I think this is something that is super cool, and that we were able to do it in 10 months, not even 10 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the key, what we were able to achieve now in the last 10 months is we have been able to have a proof of concept. And we have outlined the next steps that we would need to take. But something that is coming in now is we were able to do this as the companies ourselves, but now we need partners that do help us financially to really take the next steps. And this is also what we're discussing here with a couple of partners to see how we can take the projects to the next step and actually come out of the proof of concept, going into the prototyping, and maybe also finding out some new interesting properties that we can further explore with the material.
This needs to be now industrialized, so the process needs to be ensured that it's always the same. The quality needs to be ensured that it's always the same, so you can actually measure it, that you can scale it.
And it's actually starting from the insect farm, so it's about the harvesting of the chitin itself, to the purifying, to then the refining, to then to the production of the cutlery, right?
Exactly where then FluidSolids takes it and compounds it into the raw material. Then that the raw material can be, shipped, stored, used, made into a product at the factory, and it gets injection molded so that it flows nice into the forms, like almost when you push the material into the form, and it needs to flow there. So all these things need to be stable, and we're very, very close, but it's not that you can just now order 1 million of those pieces. And so in this particular material, so that needs to all come together now.
One of the super interesting things actually is when breeding insects, we're already using side streams out of the food production. And what we then do is we take the valuable proteins and unsaturated fatty acids to make products like a burger, like a protein bar, or like a snack. But when breeding the insects, what we also get is we have the insect frass, which is a valuable fertilizer. And what we also get is the chitin. Up until now, we have been mixing the chitin into the fertilizer and using that in the plant production. But now we were able to separate the two streams, and actually something that had not that much value, actually bringing into a higher value application.
And that's where at FluidSolids we pick up, where we say there are waste streams, and that waste is a pain to someone, and that pain has to somehow go away. Usually people have to pay for it, but we now say, well, there is actually value in that. We just need to find the right application. And so when we talked, we figured, well, one of your side streams has value to us, because that property of the chitin is exactly what we could use in making the compounded material to then injection mold the cutlery or any other piece of product that you want, for that matter. And so that's quite interesting, where the waste stream that someone has a pain point can be of a very high value. But you have to find the right application for it, and you have to have it in a processed, controlled environment, so that the quality is measurable, that it's always the same. But there is many of those. The food industry, that's the cool thing. There is a lot of side streams that there is not an application yet. And so with science, with open minds, with design, you can bring it together and actually make a product out of this.
And I think in the collaboration that we have created, it's actually quite cool, because we're using the side streams to produce food, human grade, high quality food. And then what is left over, we actually make a new product out of it.
Create the tools that you use to eat the food.
Yeah.
And when you're done with the tool, you actually throw it either on the compost, and then worms and other insects will eat it up, turn it into soil, or it goes back into the process, with some of the other food waste. So there we can really close that cycle.
I mean, basically what we did is on top of the 2 cycles that we already have, we added another one. And as you mentioned, we're just adding value to more value. And there is a business case behind that. And I think this is the cool thing. And we're just super happy that we were able to connect and start this partnership.
When I designed the cutlery, one of the important parts about the actual design was that single-use cutlery looks and feels like a single-use cutlery. So it's cheap, it looks disposable, and therefore it is disposed and many times just thrown away. And I think the form and the design of a product has a lot of impact how we treat the object. We really sat together and figured, how can we control a form so it feels good, so it feels like quality, because I think that effort spent on designing the product, I think that is something, even if you can't really articulate it, you can feel when you look at it, when you take it in your hands and when you eat with it.
We produce food, we produce fertilizer to fertilize the plants that go along with the food, and now we have something to eat the food. So how cool is that?
How cool is that?